peeps! So this morning we are going to be talking about reasons why we might want to work with deity or walk with deity on our spiritual path. I've discussed this on the channel before, but so many people have been reaching out and wanting more deity themed content that I thought I would make this video for you if you are new to exploring this on your path or new to the channel or just kind of want a refresher on why you might choose to bring deity into your life. So there are a few different ways that you can look at walking with deity. So you can look at deity as actual guides that you are choosing to enter into relationship with for support and guidance and wisdom on your path. You can also look at guides as archetypes or aspects of yourself, your divine essence, many people would use the phrase higher self, that you are connecting and accessing through the telling of a myth and through relationship and communication with yourself. So you have the wonderful gift of freedom to choose what aligns with that for you on your personal path in regards to how you want to view deity that you're connecting with and working with. Personally, for myself, I do view them as guides that are not just higher self or story, but that these are guides, faces of deity, spirit entities, beings that I'm connecting with and walking with on my path. And the beauty of accessing their wisdom is we come to understand ourselves better through unraveling their myths and stories, and through spending time with them. We come to understand ourselves better, because my experience with spirit guides and deity is that they're very much energetically here as a support team to assist our soul's growth in body. And so their understanding and holding space and witnessing of our story is part of their purpose for walking with us in the way that we do. The way that they do, not we do, for walking with us the way that they do. Some deity are lifers, so they are what many of us would call our patron or our patroness, and they're around for the long haul. They've been with us since we were born into this physical body, and they will stay until we exit. And then some deities and guides really come and go and will be specifically assigned or choose to work with us at very specific points in time in our journey and story. So it's always fun to feel that kind of sexy new vibe of a new deity coming through. But also when we're moving through times of intensity, difficulty, transition, loss, heartbreak, there can be specific guides or faces of deity that show up that really offer us such a loving sense of support, compassion, kindness, empathy. And also they can help us to unravel our one individual perspective, kind of peel back the layers, see others' perspectives, and also see the big picture to the story. It can be really helpful if we've dealt with trauma, to understand, like at a soul level, the lessons and understanding that we reached through that experience. And in a way, if this feels right for you, it certainly has for me, to look at why we might have chosen to undergo something in our soul contract in order to expand and to grow and to experience, I guess I'll use the word expansion again on our path. It helps us to tap into Sophia No thing, source consciousness, the divine, great spirit, God, whatever you would like to call that. Like, we all have that beautiful freedom of, using the names that work for us there. So insert that phrase there for yourself. But there's a real sense of solidarity and togetherness with our guides when they show up. Again, whether we're moving through a really beautiful, exciting time in our lives, and also, and I think especially when we're moving through those darker times, those winter seasons, those times of really visceral experience that can make us feel like we're kind of brought down to the bone or brought down to our knees. Deity and guides that show up and walk with us in that way are so very supportive, and it's such a blessing to be able to connect with them consciously. So I do feel like deity and guides are with all of us, whether we choose to consciously connect with them or not, And a lot of people will experience them more just as synchronicities, signs and symbols on the path, etc. But when you choose to consciously come into relationship with them, there's a real expansion that happens and growth that happens in the communication and the dialogue. And you really end up having these beautiful relationships, friendships, this really beautiful soulmate energy with our guides of seeing each other eye to eye. And there's a power to the way in which deity and guides are able to see and understand us that is outside of like a human experience, a human friendship or human relationship interaction, human family interaction, because the agenda is really to help you achieve deeper understanding and awareness of yourself and the universe, your divine essence, right? It's not a giving and receiving with an agenda of necessarily what they are going to get from it. And a good way to know if you're connecting with a deity or guide that is something that is serving your growth is if after you talk, exchange connection with them, if you feel better or if you feel worse. And if the dialogue is assisting you, if it's kind, if it's compassionate but truthful, or if it's something that's causing you to have thoughts that are not helpful for you on your journey. And that's when you can then decide to no longer engage with an energy or not, because that is an important part of this discussion, is that we do have free will to connect with them or not. We get to say yes or no. That's why I talk about it a lot as a relationship, because it is very much a choice, and we have as much power in the yes or the no as they do. Over the years, I've had a lot of students and viewers and clients who have felt like, well, I'm trying to reach out to them, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get their attention. And the beauty of deity that walks with you is that they will often come to you, and it isn't a situation of you have to make you have to say the right phrase or make the perfect offering to connect with them. At least I have never found that to be so. I have always found that guides and deity knock on your door and they're more than ready and willing to work with you. Sometimes it's not the right time and they will let you know that, but if you feel a call to them, they're often 9 times out of 10, they're there and they are ready and willing and able to work with you, even if there might be a slight delay based on timeline of where you are in your story. Because as I said, some deity and guides come through at very specific times to hold space for very specific circumstances for you. And that's the power and beauty of working and walking with deity and guides, is that they do hold space for us. They hold sacred space for us. So there's a witnessing and an infinite knowing and understanding and awareness that they have with our story and our soul, that allows them to be compassionate and truthful with us. And there's also the beauty of knowing when to turn to a certain face of deity or not. If you don't want to hear the truth on any given day or moment, might not be the time to connect with that specific deity that always tells you the truth, right? Might be time to connect more with like Kuan Yin, who's just going to be very gentle and allow you to kind of reach your own conclusions in connection, or at least that's how I experience her. So there's such a power and a beauty that comes from working with guides and deity. And as I said, it's they're very powerful, loving, present relationships and connections for us. And I can say, having consciously been in connection and relationship with deity and guides since I was born, there's also this really beautiful sense of you're never alone because of these connections, because of the way that they are witnessing and supporting you. And you're not going to be pushed beyond what you're ready to have an awareness and awakening towards. So it's a supportive team that's here for the journey and here to offer you presence and guidance if and when you ask for it. And I found their presence and support to be unconditionally loving, even if I'm in my rebellious teenager phase. So if you are feeling like you might want to bring deity and guide work into your practice, I hope this video encourages you to explore that. And if it's something that really resonates for you, work with journeying with them. So work with setting up some form of an inner temple or place from which you can meditate and journey and connect with your deity and guides. I do that daily, and it's one of the most profoundly powerful practices. And it is something that is truly supportive of wherever I am on my journey. So I hope if you are looking at exploring relationship with deity, that this video helps you get a head start. Ways in which you'll know deity is coming to you is you may hear their name, you may see a symbol or animal or sign that's associated with them repeatedly. You may feel a longing and a calling to connect with their energy. And you may even hear their voice communicating with you, whether through songs or through direct communication. So if you feel those things, see those things, have an understanding that those things are happening around you, and you want to take the plunge, I encourage going ahead and making contact. You can set up an altar or some way in which you can sit down in a specific location within your home or out in nature and choose to consciously call them forward and talk with them. You can also make an offering if that feels appropriate and leave that for your chosen deity and guide, and allow yourself to build a relationship of trust over time. It's really, really beautiful and profound. And if you are looking for assistance in that, I do have my deity offerings on the Etsy shop now. The link to purchase that offering is down below. But I'm so excited to see that so many of us are heeding that call to connect and work with deity in this really personal way. I hope you are all doing well out there in the world. I'm sending you, as always, much love and many blessings. See you in the next video.